Let's bring in Sam Quinn to talk about this trade here. So, Sam, where does this sort of sit with you? How does it resonate with you about what we're learning today?
Yeah, this is an interesting trade for Charlotte, right? They've been linked to a lot of the guards on the free agent market. Ty Jerome was a name that was getting thrown around. They clearly wanted to get another ball handler behind LaMelo Ball, and I think they've done very well here. Collin Sexton is a good player. He hasn't grown into the defender that we would have hoped when he got drafted, but he's gotten over a lot of the ball hog tendencies from his early years in Cleveland. He can shoot. He can get to the basket. He's a valuable player, right? I'm surprised that they could get him at this price, because it was just a few months ago that Phoenix had to give up a first-round pick just to dump Jusuf Nurkic, right? Like, I'm surprised that they're not only are they making this swap, they're getting a draft pick to do this. So for Charlotte, this is a great trade. For Utah, I have some questions, right? First things first, Collin Sexton, they probably could have gotten pretty good value for him at the deadline. He's been available at multiple trade deadlines in the past. At the very least, you figure you wouldn't have had to attach a draft pick to get off of him. Now they do. I think this is indicative of Danny Ainge's trend as a GM. He tends to hold on to players and wait for the big package, right? He never trades players unless he thinks he's getting a huge return. Well, the downside of acting that way strategically is that sometimes you're just never going to get that package. And when you want to move a guy, you kind of have to settle for less, which is what they did here.
So just to piggyback off of that then, because I've been hearing about them trying to move on from Collin Sexton, John Collins, Jordan Clarkson, Sam. So what's the likelihood you think that Danny Ainge has yet to be done yet dealing?
Oh, I assume there's more to come here. So interestingly, Austin Ainge, who's now new president of basketball operations, Danny's son, he takes over last month. He has, at his press conference, he gets asked if Utah is going to continue to manipulate minutes with their veteran players, in an effort to lose games down the stretch. And he was pretty emphatic. We're not going to do that this year, right? Well, the Jazz also owe a top 8 protected first-round pick to the Thunder that they really don't want to give away this year, right? Especially to the Thunder of all teams. So I almost wonder if this is a backdoor way of ensuring that you keep that pick. You can't manipulate minutes on good players if you don't have good players. So I do think they're going to continue to try to trade their veterans. They do want to keep that pick regardless of what they're saying at press conferences. And this is a way to do that because Jusuf Nurkic is not the player he was in Portland anymore. The Suns had to give up a first-round pick just to get off of him. There's not a contractual disparity here at play, right? They're both on expiring deals. To me, this very much just strikes me as we needed to clear a guard off of our roster, a veteran. We want to lose games, and we want to find more minutes for our young guys.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if Nurkic can get back to the Portland days of his consistent productivity that we saw him do double-digit scoring for many seasons. By the way, before I let you go here, Sam, looks like you're very bullish on what Charlotte was able to do in this deal, but if we asked you for a grade maybe on each side, what would they be for each team?
I'm going to give it an A for Charlotte. This is kind of a no-brainer, right? You've basically turned an identical contract in a player that you weren't going to use into one that you are going to use, and you get a pick to do it. So it makes perfect sense for me. It opens up minutes for their young big men, right? Moussa Diabate was good for them last year. They took Kalkbrenner from Creighton in the draft. I assume they're going to get a lot of opportunity to show what they can do. So I'm going to give them a straight A. For Utah, I guess I'm not going to give it an F. I'm going to give it a D just because they have so many young guards on that team that need minutes. They took Walter Clayton in the draft. They have Isaiah Collier. They have Keontae George. They have a lot of guards that they needed to find minutes for that they weren't going to be able to do with Sexton on the team, and I would assume Jordan Clarkson's next out the door. But to give up value just to get rid of the player, like, I'm almost compelled to ask, why wouldn't you just cut him, right? Are you really that bullish on Jusuf Nurkic after everything that you saw from him in Phoenix and Charlotte last year? I wouldn't be. So I'm confused why they're giving away the pick. This seems like a very strange trade for them, so I'm going to give him a D. Okay,
an A and a D from Sam Quinn here with the trade between Utah and Charlotte. And in case you missed it again, the trade details. Interesting enough, all the stuff surrounding the Jazz was Ace Bailey this week, and yet all of the rumblings behind the scenes leads to a Sunday trade in the NBA.